Dave Cowens is a basketball legend. We're very fortunate that he calls Maine his home, and he's a Norway Savings Bank customer. And we'd like to thank Norway Savings Bank for connecting Dave with us tonight. Mr. Cowens, you want to make your way up to the stage? Dave has a long, colorful career, both on and off the court. His passion for competition began when he started playing sports in grade school. He will tell you that he was a late blooming high school basketball star, and through hard work as he continued to play through his college years, he later turned pro. As a former star of our Boston Celtics, Dave was named NBA Rookie of the Year, Most Valuable Player, and a member of numerous All-Star teams. He was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame and was selected as one of the greatest 50 NBA players of all time. But Dave will tell you his greatest accomplishments have been working as a coach and an advocate for youth sports, but more importantly, his achievements of being a parent and a grandparent. Please give us Dave a warm Mount Ararat welcome.
Blown away, I tell you, it's unbelievable to see this many parents supporting the kids. Really, you got to give yourself a round of applause because this is quite a showing of support, and so I know you guys are doing all the right things up here, no question about it. I'd like to thank the Norway Bank for allowing me to come up here. One of the things we talked about was they did give me an opportunity to go out and just talk to the kids and talk to anybody involved with sports and just hang out a little bit, and hopefully that's what we're going to do, just have some fun and share some stories. It's amazing that I haven't played basketball for 30 years, and people still want me to come out and say something. It's like, I'm blown away by that.
We've selected two of our best, Mason Griffin, Lindsey Cornelison. They're going to spend some time with Mr. Cowens and ask some questions.
Mason and Lindsey. Are we finished yet?
All right, let's get this started. Can you tell us what it was like growing up playing high school basketball in Kentucky?
Well, it was about the same as what you experience here, except maybe we had more competition because it was a bigger area. Like I grew up across from Cincinnati, so we're a lot of African-American players down there in different neighborhoods. Everybody had different neighborhoods, so there was, quite a few big schools all together in a close period. We played a lot, mostly outside, a lot of playground basketball. But you have to understand, we were doing this as kids. We didn't know what was going on in the rest of the world. We just knew what was going on in our little area because you didn't have sports channel, you didn't have cell phones, you didn't have the internet, you didn't have tweet, you didn't have Twitter, you didn't have any of the different things. You know what they say about Twitter now? They say, is that the one that if you just say whatever you're doing, like, oh yeah, look, we're talking on that it's not really it's not that popular anymore because everybody's talking but nobody's listening. So people go out and say, hey, I'm doing this, and nobody cares anymore. Hey, I'm doing this. It's true. The business is going this way. But anyway. But so we didn't have all that. We didn't have, like the first time I saw a pro game was the third pro game that I saw live was the one I was playing. So, we just didn't have access to what was going on in the world. We just kids playing, and got lucky then I grew one summer and the basketball coach got interested in me. Is that all right?
Growing up as a kid, did you play or try other sports, or was basketball your primary focus?
No, actually, I was in track and field in high school for 4 years. I really liked that the best. I was on the swimming team my sophomore year during basketball season. So it was the first year that our school had a swimming team. And we didn't have a swimming pool at the school, so we would have to take a bus, cost a dime, and go across the river. And we'd practice at the Fenwick. And most of the kids on the way over to practice were smoking cigarettes in the back of the bus. We found out after a while that the coach, they gave this guy, the physics coach, a couple extra bucks to coach our team, but we found out he couldn't swim. So he used to have to, we threatened to throw him in the pool if he started working us too hard, so he used his coaches from outside through the window. Then in my junior year in high school, I've been playing basketball in men's leagues and, in grade school and all that, so I always kept playing, but I didn't play on the high school team until my junior year. I grew a bit like a lot of kids do, over the summer one time, and started out on the JV team and played one JV, the whole JV game, and then about a quarter into the varsity game, I was like the second, the end of the bench guy on the varsity. The coach says, "Come on in." I ended up playing almost that whole game. And to tell you how great I was, it's how great we never were. No, actually, I shot probably in the total of that game, 2 games combined, probably 20 free throws. I think I made 1. It was pretty raw. When I talk about late bloomer, it's true, but I could do what a lot of other kids didn't want to do or couldn't do, and that I could run fast, I could jump pretty well. I'd like to play hard and crazy and just caution through the wind, just have a good time. Be like a Dennis the Menace. If you fouled out, so what? Like the other guy played. And I like to rebound and play defense. And so if you were a shooter and you like to shoot, I was glad because I knew you were going to miss probably 6 out of 10 times, and that allowed me to get the rebound. And then I was a senior in high school, and my high school coach, he said, "Dave, if you get the ball more than 4 feet from the basket, do not shoot." And I was good enough to get a college scholarship to Florida State that year. My high school coach, my senior year, said, "Unless you have a layup, throw it to somebody else." And so I did that, and it was okay. But we shot a lot, and I got a lot of rebounds, and I averaged 13 points a game in high school, and 20 rebounds, and ended up getting a scholarship to Florida State. And then with practice and all the skills side of it sort of came along, and I was able to score a little bit after that.
What advice do you have for student athletes that are still in high school that have a goal of playing at the next level?
Well, I think you've got to keep it real. I think objective evaluation at all points of your life is really important. To not get thinking you're better than you really are, and try to figure out maybe what it is you're really good at an early age and focus on that. Like for me, it was rebounding. So I said, I'm going to rebound. I know that's going to get me on the playing floor. I know my teammates are going to like me, so, because I don't want to shoot, and they do. And it all fit pretty well. So I just built on that, and then as I got better in the other areas, became kind of a better basketball player. Dana Barros, I listen to Dana Barros. I don't know anybody here ever hear of Dana Barros? Played for the Celtics in Philadelphia and Seattle, and played the time when Michael Jordan played, and actually had the most consecutive games where somebody made a three-pointer. He was a heck of a shooter, 40-inch vertical leap at Xavier in high school, and Boston. He asks these kids all the time, how many people here want to play college basketball? I ask you, how many people would like to play college basketball? Put your hand up. Well, in our basketball camp, every kid puts their hand up. I know this is weird. This is the first banquet I've been to in a long time with no basketball players. What am I doing? Then he goes on, I know you all want to play, but do you really want to put in the work to make it happen? And here's what you have to do. How tall are you? He took the biggest kid in the camp. How tall are you? Well, I'm 6'4". What position do you play? Center. Well, you're a point guard where you're going to be going. Can you be a point guard? You know, so I think you got to, for me it was always, I want to try to get better next week. I didn't have a big goal. You know, setting goals are fine, but they don't always have to be reached. It's just something you use to strive towards. And that's what I think what the real deal is how and what you're doing that you really like to do. And you just get a little bit better just with your commitment. And, you know, and it's fun because that's what you really like to do. It could be in sports, it could be in making a movie and acting and physics, whatever it is, inventing things. But find out what you really want to do and what comes easy to you. Because that's the easiest thing to stay with, you know, and spend some time. Find out what comes easy, what it's inherently easy for you to do, and then build on that. Get really good at that. I know Larry Bird and all these great shooters, they never took their shooting for granted. Those guys would work hard. They were great shooters, known for their shooting, and they would work on that harder than anything else because they knew that that's what they had to do to produce.
Was it always your life's dream to someday play in the NBA? If not, when did you think it was a possibility?
Well, averaging 13 points a game and the coach telling you not to shoot. I wasn't thinking pros, I tell you that. I was, you know, I got like 10 offers to go to, you know, Division I schools there's a lot of them in the country. And so I chose Florida State because they had like 8 girls for every guy down there. It was a key stat. It didn't do me much good anyway. He said, they didn't tell you you needed money. Let's go to a movie side. No, let's just go to the baseball field. But so that didn't work. But you know, it was a great choice for me because I got out of my neighborhood and my city and got down there and could really focus on being, you know, pretty good athlete and an all right student. So, no, I didn't really think about being pro. I was just trying to get a little bit better and hopefully, you know, I think when I was a sophomore, going into my junior year in college, we did have some people contacting the college coach saying, we have an interest in Cowens, and I'm an agent, I represent a lawyer firm, and you know, we had the ABA, which was the American Basketball Association, along with the NBA. And I wasn't always playing the NBA. The ABA came in 66 and stopped in 76. You know, so you started getting these questionnaires from a lot of different people. And so about that time, going into my junior year, is when I thought, well, people are asking, maybe I got a chance.